The story of my PhD is about myself, my sister, grandfather, all of us in country, living our lives and having extraordinary things happen to us, and me telling those stories. And one of the main stories that's featured in my PhD is when the welfare came with what they call the Carolup truck which is now the Marrowbank Mission. They came in the early days, and the guy waved his paper and he said, "I've come for your 3 children, Myrtle, Dick and Phil." So he was coming to remove them from the reserve. So there was a river that went between them and a bridge, and a truck is over there waiting. And my grandfather says to his son, "Go get my gun." He had a shotgun, 2 bullets. He brought the shotgun back. And the grandfather said, "If you cross the bridge, I will shoot you, and I will shoot one of your black trackers as well." Well, the guy ran off down to the police station, brought the police back. Police came riding on a white horse. Anyway, he came back, what's going on? And the welfare man said, "I've got these papers to remove these children." So the police officer said to him, "Well, if you can go and take the kids, you can take them." Well, of course, he wasn't going to face the gun, was he? It was an old shotgun, and he would have been, yeah. So grandfather became our hero, became the hero of my sister who told the story, and then that story's kind of transcended everything about our grandfather, and he's still our hero, although he's been gone for so many years. I mean, I kind of freak out when I think he should have been tarred, he could have been tarred and feathered, thrown in a jail cell and left there. But that was the impact that he left on us, and I think that created within us a sense of we're worthy. All of my grandfather, Norman Bendel's children, are worthy. So we stand up tall for his sake. Yeah, Mum was pregnant for me. I was the last child born to her. But she was pregnant. She went to one hospital. She was already in labour. I don't know how she did it, but they said, "No, we don't take Aboriginal people here." So she had to go another 30, 40 miles to the next town where a hospital would take her. She got on the train, and of course trains just go boom, 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 boom along, and she's in labour, and she never quite made it to the hospital. I was born on a train, which I think is pretty awesome, being born on a train. But yeah, I was born on a train. Due to the policies of the day, that hospitals the health system did not do much for Aboriginal people at all. And also people are changing. I think attitudes aren't what they were like before, especially towards Aboriginal people. But Aboriginal people have pushed for those changes as well as non-Aboriginal people. And I think that there is a concerted effort for black and white people to make a difference in this country. If people don't work together, nothing's going to happen to this country. After the referendum, there are so many Aboriginal people who were they were devastated. Some stayed out of their public life for a week. People just needed to just sit back and take stock of what had just happened. It was like having a big blow to you, and you're needing the wind then to catch up. And that's how it was. We were deeply, deeply hurt by the outcome of the referendum, because we lost opportunity to change. And the trouble is with the referendum, what it did was it brought out some really evil stuff in this country, really bad stuff, very negative behaviours, negative voices. But you know, we're still here. After 200 years of white history, we're still here. I think that after the blow of the referendum and the things that were coming out from under the woodwork against Aboriginal people and against people who were of difference in this country. It was a bad time. I know that our kids at school, my great-grandchildren at school, suffered with a lot of abusive language coming from the kids from school, which is reflected from the parents, of course. But we got through that. Australia will get through that. But it's so important that that this country looks at its history and say, how have we helped Aboriginal people in the past? What do they need to do to help Aboriginal people in the present? And how do they go forward with Aboriginal people for the future? And I think non-Aboriginal people are waiting for us to say it's okay. You know, a big mistake was made at the referendum, but let's move on to something better. Let's make this country what it was meant to be. I mean, before colonisation, it was a beautiful country. We all lived our lives greatly. Colonisation happened. We can't change that. But how we go on in the future, we can make a difference. And any non-Aboriginal people listening to this, you can make a difference. You can make a difference in the relationship of the Aboriginal people in your street, kids in your school. You know, it's personal. It's personal. And it's the personal change that can be made in this country to make it a better place. This is a beautiful country. Everybody wants to come to Australia, but let's not lose what this country is about. I think that people are stuck on the date because of what they perceive as their history. But they have to look at the fact that there was a history previous to their history, and an understanding needs to come that we were here long before. And since then there's just been a struggle all the way through for Aboriginal people to even survive, for Aboriginal people to progress, because there's always doors that are shutting on us as Aboriginal people. People need to look at how we can open the doors to good conversations, to good relationships, to a good future. And I think that change the date. Change the date so it has significant meaning to everybody in this country. Holding on to something that is divisive does no good for this country. We've already seen the divisiveness of it.